Hey y'all, I hate saying it's just a fucking, what do you call it? It's a habit. What's up, y'all? Hey, this is Wrestling Color Podcast right here on YouTube. I'm Stephanie. Make sure you thumbs up the video. Make sure you hit subscribe because no one's talking about what I'm talking about. Like, let's be real here, okay? Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter. All of those little links are in the banner on this page. If you want to shoot a sister a couple of coins, go ahead and follow me on my Shit to Sugar podcast, political commentary, and some other shit going on over there that I think I had to censor, so I put a paywall up. It ain't that much. Check it out. See if you like it. What else? Hope you are enjoying 100 plus episodes of my content here on YouTube. I'm having a good time. I feel like I should be somewhere in the 300-400s by now. I'm not really sure why y'all taking so long to subscribe, but if you're listening, go ahead and subscribe. You might as well, because what I'm about to talk about is some real shit. You see the picture, right? Okay, boom, let's get into it. So, WWE is now on the Peacock in the United States of America. Let me say it again. WWE Network has moved to Peacock in the United States of America. Peacock is NBC, okay? They have different tiers. You can get the $10 one, go all out, no commercials. They got $4.99, get everything with commercial interruptions. Okay, great. Half the shit on Peacock I don't really watch except for Law and Order. I'm trying to get into whatever they got over there because I'm paying for it to access WWE programming, because I do like the 24 series. I like the interviews from Stone Cold Steve Austin. I like the Chronicles. I like WWE's production value. They give great production. Like, I'm not about to sit here and say they don't. I even sometimes go back and watch old episodes of Raw and old episodes of SmackDown, but it's selected episodes. Like, I'm not going to sit through a whole 30 episode season of Raw. I did it once before. I'm not now, right? And sometimes I'm even taken aback by some of the shit that was allowed to emulate from said arenas during this time in the 90s, 2000s, and beyond. So, with that being said, Peacock is removing controversial moments from old WWE shows. So this is via TV Web. So let's go ahead and get into it. Give them their props that I'm getting this article. Old WWE shows are getting trimmed of their more problematic matches and segments as they move to the Peacock situation over there. Peacock streaming. NBC Universal is trimming some of the more questionable content from past wrestling shows after Peacock has now bought the WWE Network. Now, if you live overseas outside of the United States of America, you still get the WWE Network, so you can watch all of that problematic shit if it's that fucking important to you. While WWE programming has gotten to be much more family friendly in recent years, there have been many moments from the past that probably wouldn't fly in our current climate. And quite as it's kept, it didn't fly then. I don't know why y'all think because the internet wasn't what it was in the 90s and the 80s. There was problems with it then. But the audience is geared toward white males, specifically Southern white males. They like this shit. So someone who like me and my brothers, and we sitting here watching fucking, I don't know, WWF in your house on a Saturday, and somebody's up there doing some wild shit and making fun of a culture. I didn't fucking know it, and I didn't get the joke. But some yokel in Kentucky's like, Anyway, while WWE is okay, so Peacock has been heavily editing these old shows, as noticed by many wrestling fans tuning in. Reportedly, one of the most evident examples of Peacock's censoring of old shows can be seen in the streamer's offering of WrestleMania 6. It aired on a pay-per-view in 1990, and back then you had to pay, y'all. You had to pay for pay-per-views. Pay-per-views about $50, sometimes $60. The WrestleMania featured a match between Roddy Piper and the Bad News Brown, with Piper, a white wrestler, painting his body half black for his match against a black wrestler. The entire match, along with the interview segment of the Piper in the paint, has been completely removed from Peacock's and version of WrestleMania 6. Meanwhile, WWE fans have also noticed that the infamous moment from Survivor Series 19, which went down in 2005, has also been nixed. On the show, company chairman Vince McMahon, portraying the role of a loose villain, referred to Booker T with the variation of the N-word. If y'all don't remember, he walked by and said, "What's up, my nigga?" And Booker T said, "Did he really say that?" Let me tell y'all something. I'm going to say it. It was a problem then, and it's a problem now. And it's even worse of a problem because I had no idea of Vince McMahon's politics and the inner workings, and I never really paid attention to how he scripted his wrestlers who are not white men or white women. It's a fucking problem. Get it out of here. I don't got a problem with it. That moment is now completely gone as well, though the footage still continues to float around on social media and video sharing websites. It's going to take some time for Peacock to add more content from the WWE Network, so time will tell how much more of the past will end up getting axed. During the late 90s and early 2000s, the company was in the midst of what is called the Attitude Era, a period of time where WWE was aiming for a more mature audience. Was the time when characters like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, The Rock, Mick Foley were able to flourish with beer drinking, hardcore violence, and nudity, sometimes making it into wrestling shows. The more controversial moments from the history were available on the WWE Network before the switch. Even so, there are certainly a lot of segments from WWE TV that the company probably wouldn't be sad to see getting buried. Many of these moments have already faced their share of criticism. While there haven't been much of a campaign for Peacock to trim down the network's content, it would seem that they wanted to get ahead of the backlash before it started. While some diehard WWE fans won't be thrilled to learn that some of the matches and segments are getting nixed, the good news is that the network is much more affordable than it was before. Boom. Like I said, get it for $5 and you can see all this bullshit. Let me go ahead and say this real quick because this ain't going to be long. Anybody who's on Twitter, Facebook, and all these platforms going on and on and on about how they're so devastated that they took off Vince McMahon saying nigga and we can't see Piper's Pit when he was going against Bad News Brown and wore blackface. We can't see when the whole train was coming in. Let me tell you something. They're not taking, at least what I think, they're not going to take every little piece off. But some of the shit had no business airing when it aired. All that sucking and you know, the sex in the ring and the whole train and the ladies coming down in their bathing suits and wrestling and pudding and all this bullshit. It wasn't good then. Wrestling is not as popular as y'all think it was. Yes, Hulk Hogan is a big fixture in the WWE, but everybody don't give a fuck about Hulk Hogan. Are you shocked? Just like everyone doesn't give a fuck about wrestling now. Only diehard fans are going nuts about this, and the majority of them are white males who are upset that they can't hear the N-word and see some racist, sexist, close to rapey, some fucking pedophilic action going on. It's toilet humor and it's not necessary in order to tell a wrestling story. And half of you motherfuckers are not sitting around watching Raw from 1997 all over again. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Some of the tweets that I've seen. When Disney Plus will show everything but Song of the South and put up a disclaimer, even cartoons with blackface characters, then Peacock has no excuse. Let me explain something to y'all real quick about Disney. First of all, Disney and their racism started in the fucking 20s, okay? A lot of this shit is historic. They took the time to put a disclaimer. So if you're going to watch Dumbo and you're going to sit your 4-year-old in front of it, Disney took the time to say, listen, it's some racial shit in here. So unless you don't want to indoctrinate your child and have these discussions, you have the option not to watch. That's what Disney did on their own. Why just you needing to hear the N word? So something you need to do. I don't understand. I do understand, but it's just bizarre. If it's edited to be more PC, then it's not worth paying a single cent for. And I said, and he said, if Peacock editing the N word from a show is too PC for you, you might be racist. And he said, you don't want to edit history for words. I don't like you, so you must be a racist. They said, if you're upset they took the N word out of context, you're racist. Vince McMahon is not Mark Twain, no matter how much you want him to be. We aren't upholding some prime example of television writing. It's like being mad that we're taking the N word out of old daytime soap opera. He said, I wasn't aware I needed to be Mark Twain to use racial slurs. So he completely missed that the man is saying Mark Twain said nigga in his books because Mark Twain was a racist trash bag from his time. And that's literature. Vince McMahon wrote in nigga because he could. That's it. He said, you aren't even smart enough to be aware of one of the most famous authors to get his book censored for using that word. It's not you need to be a Mark Twain to use it. It's even Mark Twain got his work censored for the use of the word. I know Vince writing. He's no Mark Twain. And the guy said, the fact that you're so worked up about WWE using a racial slur in a comedy segment 16 years ago tells me you need to get your priorities in order. And then it says, well, now first of all, that's how, you see what he said? That's what a majority of wrestling fans think. I'm getting worked up over something that happened 16 years ago. The N-word has been in the fucking white man's lexicon since he came over here and conquered the United States and all the places they conquered. It stings and I don't want to hear it. And it's not necessary for you to hear it. Him saying, what up, my nigga, had nothing to do with the overall show if you watch the show. It was stupid. It had nothing to do with what was going on. Another one. Will this impact us non-U.S. users? I'm knee-deep in Attitude Era madness, and I don't want my experience to be hampered due to people's obsession with changing history. First of all, that blackface was not Attitude Era. You see what I'm saying? That blackface was back in the fucking 80s. And number two, why do you need to see that? To see a match. Y'all fucking racist. If you think about it, what's going to be lost? It was silly, crude humor, juvenile stuff. Suck it. It was bullshit. Just wait until that person reviewing the content comes across Mae Young giving birth to a hand. They're not going to take that off. They're taking off the blatant, obvious, in-your-face, offensive shit. And it goes on and on and on, and it's just like, it's just, you know, people want to see shit that's just unnecessary because a lot of y'all are racist. And when the joke's not on you, you don't have a problem with it. But if I sat here and went in on white folks and did all kinds of shit, y'all would have an issue. But since the jokes is on Asians, blacks, Latinos, women, handicapped folks. Remember Brock Lesnar threw that man down the wheelchair, down the steps, beat that one-legged man to a pulp. Y'all had little people making fun of them. You made fun of black women with Bobby Lashley and his sisters. We could go on and on and on about WWE and their toilet fucking human because that's what Vince McMahon likes. So, for those who think Vince McMahon does not realize that his stuff is being censored, he don't give a fuck because he got the payday. This man gives a fuck about his money. And that's evident if you just got through watching Fastlane. Okay? So I'm going to leave it here. What y'all think about Peacock censoring WWE programming as it moves over to the Peacock full-time streaming app? What y'all think? Does it matter to you? It matters to me. It matters to me because I want to watch fucking WrestleMania soon, and now I gotta power through looking at fucking Hulk Hogan, knowing the shit he said, knowing how he acts, knowing what I know now as an adult. Hulk Hogan could. You mean to tell me Hulk Hogan could fucking host WWE's WrestleMania, But I don't see Velveteen Dream on my fucking screen. I want somebody to make it make sense. Make it make sense to me. Make it make sense. Hulk Hogan, we already know. Nothing that happened to Velveteen Dream has been proven. And I've even read that the whole shit was just fake and flummox. But he ain't on my screen. Let me know. Put Velveteen Dream on my motherfucking screen. If I gotta sit and watch fucking Hulk Hogan stand next to upstanding Titus O'Neil host WWE's WrestleMania for a second time, when the first time it was unnecessary, the second time was unnecessary, it's gonna be unnecessary the third time. And me as a black fan, I gotta sit and power through that shit. Some of y'all are fucking idiots. And this is why we can't progress as people in the United States, because y'all want to keep old shit with no explanation as to why it's there. And I'm going to leave it there. This is Wrestling Color Podcast. Thumbs up this video. Tell me what y'all think in the comments. Make sure you follow. Check out the other content, and I'm going to catch y'all later.